Good morning. You're watching Market Fatafat right here on ET Now. I'm Mubina Kapasi, and the market seems to be once again seeing red on the screen. Quite a substantial one at that. It's a 95-point cut coming in on the Sensex, the Nifty, and the Sensex is losing approximately 260 points. The broader markets as well are suffering a similar fate, if not worse, because the mid-cap index, as we speak, has now lost approximately 1%, and the small-cap index is down 0.9%. Though just about attempting to recover slightly from the day's low for the small as well as the mid-cap index, but for now deeply in the red. But this is a show where we highlight all the big movers and shakers in trade today, and of course there are lots of them given the fact that we are in the thick of the earnings season. So let's kickstart the show then, first up by introducing our experts who are going to be joining in on the show. We have Soumya Sharma, in-house research analyst, and Kunal Bothra as always joining in, and along with them we have Sameet Chauhan of Angel Broking as well. So good morning to all of you. Thanks for joining in. The very first stock that we must flag off, of course, is HDFC Bank. Came out with its numbers as it usually does on Saturday, and it seems to be, as usual, an in-line set of numbers. In fact, slightly strong as well, because the fourth quarter NIMs have come in at a 7-quarter high. You could attribute it to the rate cuts that have come in from the central bank that may be aiding the net interest margins. Not just that, even the NII has been strong. The profitability as well on account of the strong NIMs has been strong. So all of that and the beat that has come in some parameters, whereas other parameters it's absolutely in line with expectations, is something that has always been the case with HDFC Bank. The stock price, however, is declining. I suppose with what we are observing with the rest of the market, this one too has come under pressure and in fact is at the day's low as we speak. Kunal, let's talk about aviation names. Stocks like Indigo, etc. are taking a bit of a beating today. Not surprising given the way crude prices have bounced back.
Absolutely. The last week we saw a bit of a mixed reaction coming across for stock prices like Indigo and even SpiceJet to that extent. Indigo had a blowout kind of a rally. I think in just a matter of 2 or 3 trading sessions, the stock climbed up almost 10 to 15%. The volumes edged up significantly higher. And when you generally see strong volumes or very high volumes at the fag end of a rally, it generally entails that there is more bull trap which could probably be in place. We saw the stock correcting on Thursday last week, and it's seeing a follow-through sell-off from the reaction from Thursday. I believe that there could be a sign that the stock may retrace back to lower levels. I think the next support for Indigo now is closer to 1425, 1430 levels. So I wouldn't be surprised that the stock maybe tests those kind of levels over the next one to 2 weeks.
Okay, for now it's down 4% at 1490 rupees. Other victims of the rise in crude prices are the OMCs. Soumya, what are you observing there?
Well, yes, Movina, talking about all the HPCL, IOC, BPCL, all of these stocks are declining today after US has said to eliminate Iran oil waivers after May 2 expiration. In fact, has said that all imports of Iranian oil must end. As a result of this, it would lead to a further tightening in the already tight crude market. And this price rise would be a negative news for India. And we're seeing that all the OMCs are declining and have declined more than actually HPCL and BPCL have declined more than 6% and are among the top Nifty losers today.
Well, yeah, unsurprising. And of course, the fact that India, which is the second largest purchaser of Iranian oil, may actually have to stop purchases is something that would disturb the economics of India significantly. So OMCs as well will bear the brunt. Okay, let's talk about the metal stocks then. And again, in the red, in fact, all the constituents as well are losing, save Jindal Steel, which is just seeing some bit of green on the screen. Sameet, what have you observed in Tata Steel so far?
See, Movina, after recent rally, this stock is clearly consolidating around its 200-day moving average. So 530, 532 remains to be a very strong support, and we remain upbeat on this stock. So we would be biased in this consolidation, wherein we would see a support level somewhere around 530 to 530. We'll go long at current level with an anticipation of this stock breaking its higher end of 555. 500 and 555. So from here on, we would recommend buying in the stock. Soon we would see a breakout, and then the stock heading towards 570 to 575.
Okay, 0.6% gone for Tata Steel for now. Of course, the other big news makers, Reliance Industries, remember the stock ahead of its numbers and on the back of several news pieces as well had run up quite a bit. Today, however, it's easing off a slight bit. We had a mixed bag of numbers from RIL in the fourth quarter. Profit came in at 10,400 crores. Sales had dipped slightly at 1.44 lakh crores on a quarter-on-quarter basis. GRMs was particularly disappointing at $8.2 per barrel. That's a 17-quarter low. So on the GRM front, they did disappoint. Geo ARPUs as well. Remember, Geo ARPUs have actually been declining steadily for the last couple of quarters. Today, in the fourth quarter, it was at 126 rupees. So that as well has been disappointing. But do remember, it still remains industry beating. But RIL, like I said, had run up quite a bit ahead of its numbers on the back of the entire Aramco news and the entire M&A activity around RIL. Today, however, it's taking a bit of a breather, and that's something that's in line with the rest of the markets as well. Kunal, why are you flagging Castrol?
So, I think the stock formed a bearish, head and shoulder kind of a pattern. I think on Thursday, it gave a breakdown of that, marginal breakdown of that. But today, you're seeing a follow through of sorts for the stock price, and now the stock is trying to test its 200-day moving average. So I believe that the overall market pattern, which is earlier that the stocks crossed their 200 moving average, started an uptrend, is that there is some sort of a mean reversion process now getting into place for a lot of the stocks, even for names like Castrol, which I believe could drag a bit lower further from current levels. Stock is at 159 odd levels. I believe the 200 moving average, or the mean reversion could take the stock lower to almost 150 to 153 levels over the next 1 week.
All right, so that's Castrol at just near the day's low at 3% gone. So, Amya, what's the news in GVK Power?
Well, GVK Power, the company is selling 49% of its stake in its airport unit, GVK Airport Holdings Limited, to Abu Dhabi Investment Authority and National Investment and Infrastructure Fund. Well, the deal is approximately valued at over 12 to 13,000 crore rupees, and all these funds will be used by the company to deleverage its balance sheet. In fact, GVK Power is on the top gainer on Nifty 500 index and is up by over 8%.
Well, yes, 8% high. And remember, this news is something that we have been waiting for since quite some time. Remember, GVK Power has that mammoth debt on its books, so this stake sale would also help it reduce that debt. Sameet, Yes Bank, of course, is going to be a big newsmaker. We are expecting the results. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they are expected tomorrow. What are you observing ahead of the numbers and on the technicals for the banking major?
See, clearly, since the September fiasco, we have been avoiding this counter. Recently, we saw good recovery in this counter, but eventually, this bounce back rally got fizzled out. And today, we are seeing the stock, tanking below its 200-day moving average, which has been acting as a very strong support since last couple of weeks. So from here on, we expect continuation of this downward move, wherein the stock can head towards its next support level of 238, 235.
All right, 3.7% gone for Yes Bank. More result reactions then, and ICICI Lombard has delivered its numbers. What do they look like at this point of time? Well, on the profit front, it's managed to deliver a growth figure of 7.5% at 227 crore rupees. When it comes to the other important factor, and that is gross premiums written, that's grown by 18.8% at 3,528 crore rupees. So not that bad. The other key parameter is the GDPI as well, that's come in at, for the FY19, has come in at 14,488 crore rupees. So again, the numbers have not been that bad. And remember, the gross written premium for some time has continued to improve. In the fourth quarter as well, it has improved. So all in all, ICICI Lombard is now higher by more than 3%. Kunal, we were talking about metal counters and they have been in the red. JSW Steel, what are your observations?
So, interestingly, I think the stock gave a price volume breakout on Thursday. You saw the volumes almost at a 7 or a 8 trading session high for JSW Steel, and the stock closed, very close to that 300 mark, which has been a nagging resistance for the stock. But I believe with volumes coming back into the stock price, I think it could just be a matter of time that the stock crosses that 300 mark and convincingly and closes above it. That should result into a steady breakout for JSW Steel, which I believe has been dragged lower since last so many months. So that should be a stock into traders buy radar. I think about 300 levels, I would expect a target of at least 312, 315 over the next 1 week, and stoppers could be kept at 293.
All right, that's JSW Steel, lower by 0.7%. Soumya, important news for e-clerks?
Yes, let's first talk about the stock performance. Though the stock is trading in green, but still off the day's high. Talking about the news flow in the company is considering shares buyback terms in its upcoming board meeting on April 26th. So the stock is reacting to the news flow.
All right. That's eClerx buyback consideration on 26th April. Again, another IT company and considering a buyback. So important news over there. Sameet, Indiabulls Housing Finance, we've been seeing this one coming under pressure for some time now. In the previous trading session as well, it was losing. What would be your observation and recommendation here?
See, recently we saw a good rally in this counter, after forming a strong base somewhere around 600, 630. So in such a short span, this stock, again came back towards its important level of 900. So 200-day moving average acted as a very strong resistance, and this stock has again retraced back to its previous breakout point. So going ahead, 770, 765, this is the important trading range to watch out for. As long as it holds this important support level, we could see some bounce back in next couple of days.
Okay, Indiabulls Housing Finance down more than 3%. Bharti Airtel, meantime, an update coming in with respect to its biggest rights issue, 25,000 crore rupees. 3rd May is when it will open and it will close on the 17th of May. This is what the company said in a regulatory filing about 3 days ago. The board of directors had met on Friday, in fact, to decide on the details of the rights issue, and the last date for receiving the form is 10th May. So shareholders of Bharti Airtel, if you do want to subscribe to the rights issue, which by the way is at a price point of 220 rupees per share in terms of fully paid up shares. Remember, these are the dates that you need to watch out for. Of course, this capital infusion for the company is going to help continue its investments in future rollouts to build large network capacity, create content, technology partnerships, and of course, customer experience, which is at this point of time key for telecom companies. All right, Soumya, Jet Airways again in the red, unsurprisingly.
Yes, it's in fact the 3rd straight day that the stock is falling and has fallen more than 44% in these 3 days. The company faces the risk of landing in NCLT, and the lenders are looking at major haircuts for their exposure. Apart from this, what we're gathering also from the reports is Reliance and Tata are back in race and wanting some interest in Jet Airways. So the company in fact is the top loser on Nifty 500 index, down by over 12%.
All right, so that's of course Jet Airways. Stock number 15, Aurobindo Pharma. It has received the US FDA nod for amphetamine sulfate, so that's some news coming in. The stock price, however, is down by 1%. Quick break right here on Market Fatafat. Do come right back. The countdown will continue. You're watching Market Fatafat right here on ET now, and since we are flagging of big buzzers, crude as well does count in on that list. What a move, a 3% uptake, $74 per barrel, though of course it's eased off a tad bit from that level. Vandana Hari from Vanda Insights is whom we caught up with earlier in the morning, and she sees the global situation driving crude prices higher and that it will hurt India and emerging markets. Listen.
Emerging market economies, which are actually the biggest contributors of oil demand growth as well, are going to suffer. So up to $70 per Brent, I think, is still digestible, but beyond that, it starts getting difficult. Watch out for in the coming days and weeks is not just how high the crude prices go, but what sort of pressure starts to come down on OPEC from Trump and from other major consuming countries like China and India, which will obviously be besieging the Saudis and the OPEC members to put more crude into the market, because not only are they cutting back, but they're cutting back much more than they had pledged. So I think we'll have to watch out for these things as well.
All right, let's continue then with the other big movers and shakers in trade. Soumya, how are Tata Sponge's results?
Well, the results were weak in terms for Q4. The company's revenue although was up by 4%, it did not show it in the bottom line. The PAT was down by over 48% and stood at over 24 crore rupees. Even the EBITDA was down by 61%. The margins contracted massively from 61.6% to 9.6%. Well, apart from this, the company has approved the name change, and the board has approved the name change, and it is now being named as Tata Steel Long Products. The stock is falling for the last 2 days and has declined has more than by 4% and even down by 2.4% today.
Yeah, the name change is on account of acquiring Usha Martin, which does specialize in long products, specialty steel division, if you can call it that, Tara Sponge. All right, moving on to the next stock, United Spirits. The 9-month FY19 India sales figure has come in and it's showing a growth of 19%. They have flagged off a slowdown in the March quarter due to competition, so watch out for that. And they've also said that there are challenges to growth due to it being election season. Interesting commentary coming in. They are essentially flagging off that, hey, March quarter growth may not be that strong, so watch out for that. And especially we're going to be watching out for United Spirits' fourth quarter numbers when they do release. Kunal, what's catching your eye in a DCB?
So, this is one stock which has been moving, quite on a resilient way, because in a market like this where the Nifty is down 90, 100 points odd, you expect most of the stocks to, be either flattish to negative. But DCB Bank is, heading towards a breakout. I think the 205 range, which was a resistance for the sorts for the stock price, I think has been crossed quite convincingly. The volumes today, and in fact the cluster of volumes in the last 4 days have been exceedingly high. It just about indicates that the stock is going through a fresh wave of momentum. And when you see such volume back moves for stock prices, you expect that the momentum should last for a bit longer. So DCB Bank could be a stock which can continue to rise from current levels. Stock is at 209 plus levels. I believe the stock could be heading towards at least a 220 over the next 1 week.
Right, and yeah, bucking the trend undoubtedly, DCB 3.5% higher. Samya, DHFL, more not such good news coming in for this one.
Yes, that's right, Mubina. DHFL CRISIL has downgraded the credit ratings of 850 crore rupees of commercial papers from A2 positive to A3 positive. So the downgrade plus, apart from it, there was a bulk deal wherein Robeco sold 25.2 lakh shares at a price of 160.8 per share. The stock is falling by over 8% today and is continuing the losing momentum for the last 2 days and has been down by over 16% in this 2-day period. So today also the stock down by 8%.
Okay, there you have it. That's the word coming in on a DHFL. It's another 8% decline that is coming in. Continuing with the countdown then, Sami, today the realty space for the last couple of days has been seeing red. Today, again, DLF continues to decline. What would you make of the fall seen in some realty names like a DLF?
See, quite surprisingly, after surpassing its major resistance of 180, 190 a couple of months back, this stock went ahead towards 205, 210. But quite surprising to us, this stock underperformed in last couple of weeks. In fact, it has corrected sharply towards its previous breakout points of 174, 175. So going ahead, 170 would be seen as a make or break level for DLF. If it sustains above that, then we could see again this upward trajectory continuing, wherein this stock can again head back towards 190, 192. So as of now, 170 is the level to watch out for.
That's DLF 175 for now on the cards for that one. Tata Coffee, take a look at the numbers and how exactly is this company faring. Not so bad. I mean, yes, the revenue number has been lackluster, but that's really been the case for Tata Coffee since some time now. 460 crore rupees on the top line for the fourth quarter. But there's a sharp surge in the profitability led by the operational performance for the company. So it's a 63% rise at a 10.5 crore rupee level for Tata Coffee in the fourth quarter. Not bad at all. Margin front as well, it's done pretty good. So undoubtedly that's the reason why the stock price as well is gaining. Kunal, your view on BEML?
So purely on technical terms, the stock is forming a bearish head and shoulder pattern. It's more visible on the hourly charts. There was this 950, 955 trendline support, which the stock was taking support, I think, over the last 2 weeks. But today, the stock has confirmed a break below this 950 mark. So I believe that could be a indication of sorts that maybe the short term or the near term trend has reversed for BEML, and you could see the stock dragging a bit lower. So keeping 955 as a stop loss, I believe traders could look at a fresh shot on BEML. The targets could be in the range of 880 to 885.
All right, that's the word on BEML, down more than 2%. Soumya, what's the news on Reliance Capital?
Well, two updates here and for Reliance Capital. First being the founders have reduced their stake to 42.78% from 47.25% in Reliance Capital. Apart from it, CARE and Brickwork have revised ratings for the company's long-term debt instruments. CARE has placed them on credit watch with developing implications, while Brickwork has placed them on credit watch with negative implications. The stock is reaction to the news flow down by over 10% today. In fact, the stock has been falling for the last 3 days and has lost close to about more than 20% in this period.
All right. Well, unfortunately, with that, we're out of time on this edition of Market Fatafat. So thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned. Markets at Noon comes up next. And of course, thank you, all of you, for giving your perspective as well on this edition of the show.